Welcome to the Monthly Marquee. I'm your host, Bart Lovins, Director of the Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center. Our first guest this month is Caleb Cunningham, who is a graduate from Central Hardin High School getting ready to go to Campbellsville University. Did I get all that right?
Yes, you did.
Good. How are you, sir?
Good.
Hey, thanks for tagging along with me in Skaggs Limousine all morning. Really appreciate it. Sorry your mom couldn't be here for the taping.
Yeah.
But live calls.
Yes.
So, you've just finished your senior year, getting ready to go to Campbellsville, as we've talked about earlier today at the radio stations.
Yes.
You're going to major in Spanish and minor in theater. How do you see those two things working together?
Well, my goal is to be a teacher, so I'd like to be able to teach Spanish, and that gives me my, I don't know the word right now.
Fallback?
Not fallback, but the sturdy part of my life is Spanish, and then my hobby and what I want to do is theater. So theoretically, I can teach Spanish, run the drama club, and have the two together.
No, that's the plan. That works. And excuse me, what got you interested in being on stage?
My fourth grade music teacher, Miss Root, from Lincoln Trail. She now teaches at North Hardin, but she did productions for our fourth and fifth grade, and that kind of got me started. And I was like, wow, I really enjoy this. And then some friends along the way, like my friend Jackson, who was Pat Kid Spotlight last month, he was like, hey, come audition for this. I was like, no, I'm not going to. I'm scared. And then he was like, hey, come audition. No, and he's like, hey, come audition. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
So he basically nagged you into it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what friends are for.
Yes.
Friends and mom, that's what we do. Yeah. And so, speaking of that kind of thing, and we talked about it on one of the radio stations this morning. So here you were, you were. Why were you scared to audition?
It was just new. It was something new, something I did before, but something I didn't see myself doing until I did it, and I fell in love.
So what do you say to the next generation coming through? In particular, in relation to why should any kid at all be interested in losing their summer to Youth Theater of Hardin County? I
mean, I wouldn't call it losing your summer. I mean, you don't get to go on family vacations whenever your parents would like. It is a huge commitment. But I've gained my best friends from it. I've gained my lifelong friends. I've gained so much vital experience that I'll use later in life. I've had amazing opportunities to work at the PAC and perform on this stage, and I know a lot of performers my age don't get that.
Yeah. We said vital experience. What kind of experience have you gotten that you think is going to help you through life?
Well, now
in college, particularly.
I've gained time management is a big one. Working with children is a big one. Trying to be a leader among my peers is also another one I've gained.
Excellent. And so where do you see yourself in 10, 15 years?
10, 15 years, gosh. Pursuing my passions of teaching and working with kids.
Cool. And you have any favorite memories you want to share?
Favorite memories?
Maybe, so you got started in Missoula Children's Theater, right?
No, I was not.
No, okay.
No.
So it was Beth Root?
Yes, it was.
So, and what was the first show you did with Beth?
Beauty and the Beast.
So you were Cogsworth in that.
Yes.
You have any Cogsworth memories?
Well, I had a bad speech impediment, and so I like watching the tape back and listening to myself. A lot of my friends like to nag on me for that. It's just kind of a fun thing we do.
Well, don't you think getting yourself out there and doing theater helped with that, too?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I see a lot of kids in theater when you're 6, 7, 8 years old and you have a speech impediment. It's adorable.
Yes.
It's really fun and really cute. When you're 13, 14, 15, 16, it's not so adorable.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people that have to deal with those kind of things. And I think doing theater is a great way to push yourself, and I think choir as well.
Yes.
Because the vowels have to be a certain way and the consonants have to be crisp. And so, I mean, speech therapy. Did you do speech therapy as well?
I did it through elementary school. And I kind of lost it 6th grade, so right after our 5th grade production.
Yeah, and then so speech therapy is great, but it's easy to fall back on old habits. But if you're doing chorus,
Yeah.
or theater or something, it reinforces what
Yes.
you're learning in speech therapy. Yeah, yeah. Caleb, thank you very much for your time and for your time all day today.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Caleb Cunnigan. I play Rin McCormick in the show. Rin is the main protagonist. The story kind of revolves around him. He's just a teenager, and he's forced to move to Beaumont from Chicago with his mom, and he's forced to live with his aunt and uncle, and he doesn't really fit in Beaumont because he's a city kid, and he struggles with like ADHD and ADD, and he just kind of doesn't want to go with the flow. Mainly for Rin, I brought just past experiences that I've had, and that just comes with any actor. You're going to act on, or you're going to do your parts how you've done other parts in the past, and it's not good to just recreate re-envision characters that you've already done. It's always good to bring something new, fresh and creative to each character. From Footloose, I have learned that no matter how young each cast is their own new family, and I've learned that I can depend on these people no matter what scene we're doing, or even if we're off stage just having fun. My favorite part of the musical is probably I'm Free. It's a big number at the end of Act 1, and it's a big number for my character, but because my job is to rile all the other teenagers up and trying to get them to rebel.
I'm free! Come on, try it!
I'm free!
Let the Lord hear your voices!
I'm free!
Yeah!
Our next guest is Miss Carmen Caldera Brasca, representing the T.K. Stone Theater of the E-Town Performing Arts Center. I kind of made that a little longer than I needed to,
Yeah.
but that kind of tells everybody who and where and what.
Yes, it
Because
does.
we often deal with people confusing our buildings for each other.
Yes.
We had people showing up at our space for your workshops that you had this summer, and we had to
Really?
send them back down the road.
Oh, that's so funny.
Well, just it's for a long time we didn't have any performing arts center.
Right.
And then for a while we had the E-Town Performing Arts Center.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center.
Right.
And we shorted our name to the PAC. And then we had the T-PAC on post.
Right.
So it's a little
Well, and there was the
confusing.
PAC before that.
And the PAC, yes.
Yes.
So all kinds of performing arts centers.
Yes.
Now down to the two of us.
Right.
And I was just mentioning your workshops that you were having this summer. Share with our
Yes.
audience how that's been for you this summer.
It's been great. We started out with a middle and high school acting workshop. And so we had some students from TK Stone Middle and some from Elizabethtown High School. And they became such ensembles so quickly. And they picked monologues and scenes that they wanted to perform for their families at the end. And it was really, really wonderful to see how quickly they bonded.
Did you have the high school and the middle school at the same time?
Yes, they worked together.
And that, of course, when you have that kind of combination, I can't help but think about youth theater. And I think that's one of the wonderful things about what youth theater does, too. It inevitably becomes a mentoring program.
Yes.
And I think it's good for the older kids as well as the younger kids. Yeah.
Yes. And it feeds, as the TK students leave their drama club, then they go on to the high school drama club, and so they've already worked together.
Yeah.
And if we collaborate in the future, they've worked together. And it was great because we had some that were very experienced. They'd been in drama club even back to their years at Morningside. And so they were familiar with a lot of the things that we were doing in terms of improvisation and those kind of exercises. But we had some that had never been on stage before. And you could see them kind of watching and learning, and I didn't let them group with the people they knew.
Yeah.
Made them work with new people, and it was beautiful. And at the end, after their performance for their parents, as they were all walking out, they said, no, we've got to get a picture together. And I was like, this is wonderful. In 5 days, they have made this bond that they are a cast, and they have that feeling.
Well, and you and I know from past experiences, every cast becomes a family. Some more dysfunctional than others, but every cast becomes a family.
Yes.
And that time from the audition to the final performance and striking the set is kind of a microcosm of a lifetime.
Yes.
You're born into this group, you deal with this group, you love this group, and then you tear down the set, and that lifetime together is over. You part ways and you move on.
Yes.
Now you reconform in other families for other shows and stuff, but I also think being in theater is kind of a microcosm of life, and it teaches you how to deal with the ups and the downs, the great joys, and the depression of when a show's over. What do you do? What do you do when this wonderful part of your life is over? Well, you still have these friends.
Right.
You still have these connections. There's another audition right down the road, right down timeline a little bit.
Right.
And perpetuating those bonds.
Yes, yes. And the workshops are 4 hours long. And so we run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have lunch together. And so there's not just that we're doing a scene or we're doing a play. There's also the real
Social.
the conversations you have over lunch and breaks and all of that. And it was very rewarding.
Speaking of rewarding, it's what do you get out of it?
Well, I fell in love with theater as a kid. So theater has given me everything in life, from public speaking to administration, being able to, if I wasn't on the stage, then I was either in the technical booth or I was in the office or I was, sitting next to the director taking notes for him or her. And so to see other kids find their niche. One of our students had never done theater, was very, very shy, wouldn't look at me the first morning. And by the end of the first day, she was doing a monologue the last day of the workshop. She just, it clicked. And to see that light in their eyes is, it's everything.
And, when we're talking about theater in an educational setting, that story in particular really strikes me because we are, we always, we've all heard the phrase teaching to the test.
Yes.
And theater does not necessarily teach to the test.
Right.
Theater is teaching the intangibles. Theater is teaching the self-confidence, the self-awareness that makes them a better student. A student that is confident to raise their hand and ask the questions so that they learn the answers so that they do better on the test.
Right.
And these are really valuable life skills.
And it also teaches them, we talk a lot about characterization and backstory and doing your research. And they have learned that not everything is what's in front of you. There's always more to it. And go find that.
Yeah.
Because you can't
Dig
understand it if you don't really, dig deeper. Do the research. Find out why the character's doing this. Why did the playwright put this in there? Why is that important to what is going on in your story?
And not only from an educational dig deeper into your subject matter, but dig deeper into the people that you pass in the hallway. There's more there than meets the eye.
Yes.
We are all, in essence, more similar than we are dissimilar.
Oh, definitely.
And that's a good worldview to take with you on a daily basis.
Yes.
Well, the workshops are ending.
Yes.
And so is that the biggest part of your summer? What's next for you guys?
Well, we just finished our technical theater workshop, which thank you to the PAC for hosting us and giving us a tour of the final day. The students learned so much from that as well.
And Aaron is such a, he's such a ringleader.
Yes, yes. And it was the perfect closing because we had talked about all of these things and then to have it all together in one day was wonderful. And so now, hopefully, those three will become part of our EPAC crew, and that's what the rest of my summer holds. We have an elementary acting workshop next week, so that'll be our final workshop. But then we have a lot of, putting lights back up, replacing lamps that have blown, putting everything away and organizing so that we can get ready to hit the ground running in August.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And what happens in August? Anything big?
It's just kind of a constant with
Yes,
us. We
I hear
are
you.
constantly doing something from opening day where we host all of the staff for a big meeting with a / performance, whatever it ends up being, straight through. We kind of don't stop. I've already got teachers, even on their summer break, calling in, scheduling play rehearsals and concerts and And so it never stops. But once we start in August, we don't really have time to do the maintenance and the cleaning and the organization and all that stuff we have to do.
Carmen, how can people learn more?
Our Facebook page right now is the best place, Elizabethtown Performing Arts Center. And on there you can learn about the workshops we've been doing. You can learn how to become part of our EPAC volunteer crew, and you can learn how to support our efforts through becoming a donor or a sponsor or becoming part of that.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next guest is Miss Carrie Lewis, representing the Hardin County Playhouse. Carrie, thank you for being here. I'm sure as I was saying that to some of our viewers, they went, Hardin County Playhouse? I didn't think they existed anymore. So we have a lot to share with them. Not a lot of new news, but we want to make people aware that Hardin County Playhouse does still exist. You still have a mission, and you have goals that you are trying to meet.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't realize how long we have existed. I mean, we were fixing to enter our 49th season. So that's a very long time for a community theater. And we have been, for those many years, very successful and growing. We're not ready to stop any of that. We want to continue on. This is a pause as we look for a new venue. And that has represented a lot of challenges for us because we've got a move to make and a place that we need to find. It's been said that one of the things that make Hardin County Playhouse special, it's because it's the people and not a place, which is true.
Yeah.
However, the people need a place. So that is our big concern right now, and there are very limited options in the area. We need to have, like some open space and some tall ceilings. We need to have public restrooms and private restrooms for the actors. We need a place for the stage. And we need a low rent.
Yeah.
And we need parking. So,
parking, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, there are challenges to finding all those things in one space. Our ultimate goal is to find a permanent home. And so we have been doing some fundraising and asking folks to pledge or donate to our building fund, because the way that community theater survives and thrives in any community is the fact that they don't have to worry about overhead. Because the ticket prices need to stay low so that most of the community can actually come to see these performances and participate in these performances. So if we had a structure that belonged to us, then we could continue on for generations to come.
And you talking about generations to come. This is not the first time that the Hardin County Playhouse has had to seek out a home.
Right.
And my history may be a little wonky, so help me if I go astray here. Hardin County Playhouse began in a barn out in the park, Radcliffe Park.
Right.
And they were there for many years. And then it was a barn, and eventually a stiff wind or whatever, and the barn literally collapsed.
Right.
And then they were without a home for a while, and they kind of did things scattershot as they struggled and tried to get their footing again.
Right.
And I think they did some things at the Science Auditorium at HCEC, and I don't know what other performance spaces they used in the interim until they got their other space in Radcliffe that was, I remember as being part of the Sears building.
Right, exactly.
And then Dollar General, Bingo Hall, that building there.
Right.
And then they moved from there to the State Theater.
Right.
And how long were you guys in the Plum Alley Theater at the State Theater?
I think that it was somewhere around 10 or 11 years.
Which is, for some of our audience, that'll seem like you've been there forever, and then for people like me, it's like, well, you seem like you just moved in yesterday.
Right.
And one of the things that I've learned in going to conferences and sabbaticals and stuff about performing arts organizations is that by not just performing arts organizations, but organizations as a whole, there's kind of a 10-year life cycle for any organization. You start off with this mission and these people, and roughly in about a 10-year span, you develop, you change, you grow. You see new people come in and assert themselves, or the space you have goes a different direction. But every 10 years there's a rebirth. And so this is not a death, this is a rebirth. This is a time to reevaluate, and where do we go from here?
Right. And as a rebirth, I think right now we're in the labor pains.
Yes. Oh God, yeah. And nothing. Change is difficult.
No.
Change is
It
difficult
is very
for us all.
difficult.
It's necessary.
And we're an all volunteer organization right now. So all of our folks have got another job, or maybe 2 jobs, and families and other things. So we've been struggling even for the whole last year of finding a way to keep things going. We've had guest directors come in, and we found a whole new sense of community, and it's been very positive, but challenging in many ways. And I'm sure, you know, that will continue to be for a while. It's been difficult, I think, because you cannot plan your season without knowing the space that you're going to be in. Like if we had a big space, we would have bigger shows. But if we have a small space, we need smaller shows, and it needs to be light on the set and
you can't decide on that show until you know
until we
how
have
big
a
a
space.
space, or the technical needs. And,
But
you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place right now.
Exactly. But I do feel very strongly, and most people that know me know how strongly I feel about the power and impact of community theater. And I think it's something that needs to be, and I think it needs to be now more than ever, because folks are finding ways not to communicate, not to get together, not to collaborate, not to create. We can look at history, we can look at human events and human relationships in theater, and that is sometimes the best way to look at these things.
Well, and I think it's, when I talk about theater, I talk about the aspect of theater because of my job and my position, primarily from an educational standpoint, in that when you're looking at students, there are academic students who are going to excel academically. There are athletic students that are going to excel and those people will find a community of athletes, of academics. Theater is this wonderful space in between that bridges those gaps. We have athletic people, we have academic people, we have artistic people, we have people. Theater saves the people that fall through the cracks in our society. It gives them, this wonderful term, there is our biological family that we are born into. Theater is our logical family. Theater is the family that we choose because we have like needs and they support us in those things that we don't find support out in the rest of the world. So we are, when you talk about a community that is divided, like our nation can be at times, on political basis, on racial basis, on age basis or economic basis, we can find ourselves divided in so many different ways. Theater, the arts in general, but theater specifically, is a collaborative effort, and I don't care who you voted for.
Right.
I don't care what you believe in. We might talk about that over a beverage some night, but we're here to do this together. We have formed a small community because we love doing this activity.
Right.
And I think that's so necessary for us to have as an outlet in our community.
Right. And even more so.
Yeah.
Because people are just they're not getting together in the same ways that they used to.
Yeah,
They're not communicating in the same ways that they used to.
I gotta get you off of that couch.
Right.
Yeah.
People, you go to a place to get food and you use a kiosk or you use your phone or you text somebody. You have an argument with somebody over Facebook, but there's power with people getting together and exchanging.
This eye contact, being able to make eye contact,
exchanging that energy, and then there's things that I can perceive in your tone of voice and your mannerisms that I can't see in a text, that I can't see in a Facebook posting, and I think if ever we needed community theater to address a lot of the human issues that we are facing today, it is now.
Yeah.
And it's more powerful than a lot of the political soapboxes that people stand on, because those things are subject to change and misinterpretation. But when you see something happen on theater, nobody can deny your experience as an audience member or as a part of the crew or as a part of the cast.
Okay. need to wrap things up here. So, how can we help?
Money. No, we
Need to really, but I mean,
we
to
really
be totally frank. Yeah.
Right. We more than anything, we need money. Everything that I've looked at, it's going to cost us probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $250,000 to $500,000 to get anything going. So I've got right now pledges exceeding $11,000, and that's just been
That's
in the past.
incredible.
Yes,
Yeah.
in the past couple of weeks, there are people that believe in what we're doing. We have set up an escrow account at Sicilian Bank for those people, that are concerned about their money going as it needs to go.
Sure.
So, absolutely, if you want, it doesn't matter how much, because we have a practice at HCP, every little bit helps, and it does. Little bits turn into big bits. So that's what we're looking for. We are planning to do our annual Ghost Walk again this year. We're considering possibly the Arts Festival again as well. We have got a lot of loose ends to tie up, but we are going to be here. So that's our mission, and we're just kind of digging our heels in. And it may be, it may be a crosswalk musical.
Yeah.
But we're going to be
Nothing
here.
wrong with that.
Right, absolutely.
And how do people reach you to help out?
You can go to our Facebook page. You can go to our website, www.hardincountyplayhouse.com. And we have got a PayPal account. We've got all those things in place there where if you want to give or donate or do whatever, it has information, contact information, and you can reach us best that way.
And that includes not only donating financially, but if you have an idea to share.
Yes.
If you know of a barn that's not going to fall down.
Right.
Or they can contact you through that
Right,
as well.
absolutely, absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
'Cause you got to love it, yeah. So, time. 'Cause I'm moving on the groove. 'Cause you got to love it, yeah. So, time. 'Cause I'm moving on.
Well, I don't know about you, but my summer is going way too fast. Maybe it's because my mind is already on the fall and the PAC's new season. I know many of your minds are on the same thing from your emails and calls or, talking to you in line at Kroger's. So here are some things that you can do between now and when tickets for our 2018-2019 season go on sale on August 1st. ThePack.net has been updated with our new season information, so go window shopping. Check out the videos and educational materials available for each upcoming show of our season and figure out which of our events fit your roster for your family or your students. Support the PAC. There's no better way to start a new season at the PAC than with new or renewing PAC partners. So while you're scoping out our website, take a moment and click on Donate at the top of the page. Your financial contribution can make all the difference in the quality of programming we provide for Hardin County. Youth Theater of Hardin County is now producing their summer event, and that means they are in the house at the PAC. Bring the whole family to see their production of Seussical, directed by the PAC's very own Aaron Taylor. Stephen Foster the Musical is celebrating their 60th summer after nearly being shut down earlier this year. So go show our Bardstown neighbors your love by seeing their productions of Stephen Foster and Mary Poppins. Kentucky Shakespeare. Don't forget our other outdoor drama neighbor who happens to be returning to our stage for a third season. As you can see, there's plenty of performing arts in our area, so show them all your support by seeing a show this summer or making a donation. To paraphrase musician Rokia Trerora, without an audience, dreams can't come true, because you need an audience to write new songs, perform new plays, and create new memories, and make a difference in people's lives. Well, folks, that's going to wrap things up for another month's Monthly Marquee. Until next time, I'm your host, Bart Lovins, Director for the Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center.